Welcome back to another edition of Bitman TV, where we're covering Raw and Smackdown, week commencing the 30th of January. Firstly, could you like and subscribe to our channel? As you can see, every week our channel's going up. Every week we have more subscribers. So all of these subscribers that we have, we will pay you back with something to celebrate when we get to 1,000. So don't you worry. So Raw it opens with Cody Rhodes, a Cody Rhodes video. Obviously his return from injury, then he wins the Royal Rumble. Nice little video package there. Then basically Cody comes out, crowd goes crazy, say he deserves it, which he does, definitely deserves it. He said a little backstory to him, said he wanted to be the next John Cena, but there is only one John Cena. You should never go into anything wanting to be someone else. You should let other people inspire you. That's what I would say. But anyway, it's basically going through his history and said how he's won the Royal Rumble, and to solidify his family's name to be one of the top family names in the industry, he's going to have to go against someone else whose family name has been solidified at WrestleMania, and that's our tribal chief. That's the head of the table. That's Roman Reigns. To make his family legitimate. And as we were saying all of that, the Judgment Day come out and Dominic calls out Cody for stealing his spot, for coming out at number 30 and stealing his WrestleMania chance. So Cody just basically says, hey, I'll fight any of you guys any day, anytime, even tonight. Then Austin Theory turns up. And then we have Seth Rollins versus Chad Gable in an elimination at Chamber qualifying match for the United States Championship. I'll get to that in a minute. Really good match. Go and watch it if you haven't seen it. But Seth Rollins wins. Then we have Io Sky versus Candice in a very competitive match with Io Sky wins. Then Rhea Ripley turns up. That's the winner of the Women's Royal Rumble 2023. Rhea Ripley comes out. She basically says, previously when she came to runner-up to the Royal Rumble, she challenged Charlotte Flair, and she said she got put in her place. She says she's the one that disrupts the status quo, and she wants to face Charlotte Flair. And she challenged Charlotte Flair. So it looks like it's going to be Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. That should be a great match. Then in the back, Seth Rollins, he brags about his win, and he says he's going to go on to the Chamber, win that, and then he's going to go on to WrestleMania. The interviewer there then asks Seth about Logan Paul eliminating him, and Seth Rollins walks off. Obviously, this is setting up the Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul match for sure. Then we had Corbin versus Johnny G in a elimination match, qualifying match, really good match, but in the end, Johnny Wrestling wins. Then MVP has a MVP Lounge, interviews Austin Theory. These two basically go back and forth. Austin Theory is saying that MVP would be more relevant with him being around Austin Theory basically, but MVP was basically saying to Austin Theory, you're not a classic yet, you're not a legend yet, so chill down, little boy. And then Bobby Lashley comes out, and then MVP gets in Bobby Lashley's face to calm him down, and then Theory says, yeah, listen to your daddy, and obviously Bobby Lashley goes crazy and spears MVP by accident. Then we have Finn in the back, says Edge can get it, because obviously Edge was fighting with the guys at Royal Rumble and said he's coming for Edge. But as for tonight, it's going to be Cody Rhodes. So he says he's coming to tax Cody Rhodes for everything stole from Finn. Then we had a look at Batista's new film, which looks really good, and I will definitely be watching that. It looks really good. Batista's awesome. Then we had Miz in the ring saying he's upset. He was the first man out of the Royal Rumble. He's upset. So Pierce comes out and goes, hey, you can face the new signee to Raw, which is Rick Boogs. So then we had Miz versus Rick Boogs, and Miz got squashed, basically. Then we had the MMM in the back. Alpha Academy walked by from their match earlier, and it looks like the lady, apologies, I can't remember her name, but she seems to take a liking to Otis. So would this be another Mandy Rose Otis love story thing? We'll see. Then they showed obviously what happened at the end of the Royal Rumble, Sami Zayn turning on Roman Reigns and the Bloodline. Then we had Bayley come out talking about how her and her crew took out Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch comes out and says she didn't care about winning the Royal Rumble. She just wanted to make sure Bayley and her crew didn't win the Royal Rumble, which is a bit of a lie. That doesn't really make any sense. But anyway, all of that, Bayley goes for a low blow. She goes, Becky isn't even good enough for a man, and the only reason Seth is with her because he got her pregnant, which then made Becky challenge Bayley to a cage match. So we'll see what happens there. Then Adam Pearce makes it official, says it's going to be Becky Lynch versus Bayley in a cage match. And they're also going to be doing a 6-woman elimination chamber match to see who's going to be facing Bianca Belair at WrestleMania. And they're going to be doing a 4-way match and a series of other matches to find out who the participants will be. Then we had Dolph Ziggler versus Bronson Reed. The winner goes to the chamber. Unfortunately, Ziggler's not going to win that match here. Bronson Reed won that. Then we had Carmella is back and says she is money. And then Asuka turns up looking very different with blue goo running out of her mouth. Then we had Rick Boost says he's going to be in his back and everything. He's great to be back and he's happy to be back in the back with the Street Profits. And Elias was there. And a series of matches being made for the Elimination Chamber match. It looks like Dawkins will be facing an opponent to be going in there. And looks like Montez Ford will be facing Elias. And the winner goes to the qualifying match. Winner enters the chamber match. I'll tell you what, I've been saying this for a little while. Montez, he can go. I reckon as a singles competitor, I reckon he would be really good. So we will see. Then in the main event of the evening, it was Cody Rhodes versus Finn Balor. A really great match. While the match was happening, Edge turned up. He started basically beating off the Judgment Day, who were partially getting involved in the match. While Edge was beating up the Judgment Day, Rhea then jumped on Edge, which then Beth Phoenix came out, the Glamazon, and speared Rhea Ripley. And then for some reason, Cody just went over the top and hit Finn with 3 crossroads and got the victory. So really good show. Make sure you watch it. It was really good. Then we go to SmackDown. SmackDown starts with the Bloodline turning up with Paul H, Solo, and Roman Reigns and Jimmy, but no Jay to be seen. First match was the Imperium versus Braun Strowman and Ricochet. Really good match, but in the end, Ricochet wins with an avalanche swanton, I believe it was, and they advanced to the finals in the tag team tournament to face the Usos for the championship. Then we had Charlotte. She's ready for Rhea, but obviously that night on SmackDown, she's got to face Sonya. Sonya turns up and basically says to Charlotte, I'm taking your title. Then we had Dom and Ray in a NASCAR little battle. Obviously, they're going back and forth, father-son thing. And it looks like Ray won the NASCAR race, which Dom obviously wasn't pleased about. Then we had Sonya Deville versus Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Really good match. Go and watch it if you haven't seen it. But Charlotte Flair is still your champion. Then we show basically Cody Rhodes from Raw calling out Roman Reigns because he wants to establish his name, establish his family name, and he wants that championship. Then in the back Bloodline, Roman's basically saying, where is Jay? It's disrespectful Jay isn't there. It's disrespectful Jay is not protecting the family and he hasn't got back to anyone. He just feels he's disrespected and the Bloodline's been disrespected. And Roman got really angry and said to Solo and Jimmy, go and find Jay. Then it was the Brutes versus the Viking Raiders in a really good match. Viking Raiders won, but then Sheamus and Drew came down and started fighting with the Viking Raiders, so we'll see what happens there. Then there was a replay of Bray basically taking out LA Knight and Uncle Howdy putting LA Knight through a table, and there was a lot of fire, so we'll see. Then we had a 4-way elimination, 4-way match for qualifying for the chamber match for the women's. To see who's going to face Bianca Belair. We had Shotzi, Natalia, Shayna and Zelina, 4-way match. Really good match. In the end, Natalia won. Then basically, the Bloodline once again. Bloodline says basically, no one can get a hold of Jay. Everyone's tried to call Jay. Jay's not picking up. He's not speaking to anybody. So then Roman Reigns says to Jimmy and Solo, take the night off. Tells Paul to get all the food. I think there was salmon and steaks or something like that. Do you like to eat salmon and steaks at WWE? And he goes, put all the food in the truck and then we'll talk later. and then Roman Reigns will go to the ring on his own. So then Roman Reigns, obviously straight after that, goes to the ring on his own. Basically, right now, he's been holding it up for 887 days, which is monumental. And he basically comes out, he said he wants to talk about Cody, but the crowd was chanting for Sami. So he goes, well, let's talk about Sami. Saying basically Sami is used the bloodline to get where he's at. He's used the bloodline to get notoriety. He's been using the bloodline all along to get ahead. And he says he's just been doing what everyone else wants to do, is use him, use his name. And as he's talking about that, he gets jumped from behind by a masked assailant wearing a hood, which turned out to be Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn started to get beat down. Roman gets a chair from Paul H. He was about to use a chair, but chair missed. And then Sami was about to use a chair on Roman. Roman came out the ring, but then unfortunately Sami was jumped by Solo and Jay, who bolted back to the arena after seeing the attack from Sami Zayn. So yeah, a lot happening there. And then at the end of the segment, Roman basically says he wants to make Sami pay, and he's going to face him at the Elimination Chamber, because Sami also said he wants Roman's titles. So maybe he did use Roman Reigns all along just to get to the title shot. So we'll see what happens. But great night for Raw and Smackdown. Go and watch if you haven't seen it, and like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much.